Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I listened to one of my, honestly, I wouldn't say idol, but somebody I absolutely honor and respect. The former president of PepsiCo, Indra Nooyi, said there's no such thing as work-life balance. There's priorities, and some days some priorities beat others, and others you manage them better than others. So I kind of want to talk about that thing of work-life balance. It's no secret if you've listened to me for a while now that I love and adore Indra Nooyi, and it even made it worse that I got to meet her as she was still, of course, president of PepsiCo. But she was talking about, well, she was asked if there was ever a work-life balance for someone like her, a wife, a mother, who had an executive position that far and wide. How did you, manage the work-life balance? And she was talking about how she had to make homemade cookies for her daughter at school. And she said, first of all, I didn't even know I had to make the cookies. But anyway, she went to Pepsi where she was working. She was obviously the boss. And she says, the guys in the kitchen, do something for me. And they did. And she took the cookies and everybody lived happily ever after. And she says it wasn't so much about the cookies. It was how to manage your priorities. She had to be at the school at a certain time and show up in a certain way. How she ended up showing up in a certain way is not your business, but she did. And so she was saying, don't so much look for a balance between work and life, because it will never happen, but look for a way of managing your priorities. So let me say it this way. Today, right now at my age, I think I have what I would call a work-life balance. Don't shoot me. I know everybody tells us to call it a work-life priorities, work-life, but I actually think I have a work-life balance. So even in my weird way, let me explain it this way. I have sat down and said, family, work, me, you put your roles and priorities. And then I say, X percentage of time goes here. X percentage of time here. The other one gets this percentage of time, which means because work has this percentage of time, I can't do more than 2 projects a month. I can't do more than 3 projects a month. Because my family have this time, my friends and going out and doing brunches and lunches won't take more than X amount of time. So nothing is suffering, which I feel like, isn't that the balance? When you can have your cake and eat it? So I could be wrong, but here's how I do it. First, if you've never done it, please go and read the book that is done by Stephen Covey. He's the late Stephen Covey. You can start with, yes, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But if you want to break it down further, his book called First Things First. What a game changer, especially for us who are both wanting to be parents, for example, or take back your time and also be in the workspace. He explains that never come at life by saying, let me go get a career, let me go get a family, let me go get a relationship, let me travel the world. No, come at life by managing your roles. I am a mother, I am a friend, I am an employed, I am this, and then those roles, figure out what is required of you in those roles. There are things my children require of me that my husband doesn't require of me. And there's where my husband requires me to give him time, and my kids don't require that time. Do you know what I mean? And for example, it's like saying, oh, my kids take up all my time. That's a lie. Your children are sleeping by 7 p.m. Why can't you watch your favorite series? Why can't you balance it and enjoy your life? You know what I mean? But it's because we've put it in our heads that to have one is to lose another. Yes, there'll be moments where you sacrifice, but you know why you sacrifice? It's because only one thing is a priority. Only one thing is the main role you're doing. So you're not just somebody who works. You're somebody who works and does all the other things. So for me, that's where I found the sweet spot. I named all my roles, and then I said, these are the 4 roles I really want to work on. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am me as a person, which means I need to also enjoy my own life. And then I work. And these are the projects that fulfill me. So I make time for all these things, not one thing taking all my time. There are 4 tips. So I'm going to share the first one, which is setting boundaries. If you haven't already, please set boundaries. If you want some sort of balance, you need boundaries. You need this role not to sip into this role, and this one not to cross over into the next. You need that when you're a mommy, you're a mommy. You can't be both a mommy and the one who's emceeing an event. Like I can't say it's bring your child to work day and I'm emceeing a gig. Do you know what I mean? Like how? We get that you're a mommy, but right now we hired Flavia, the MC. So this role cannot go into this role. And I cannot bring my workload back home. When I enter the door after I've done my work and my projects, I bring mommy into the door. And we'll scream and we'll kick, we'll eat chocolates, we'll shout, we'll do whatever it is because I'm mommy. And I don't feel the guilt because when I pour into mommy, there's no, I mean, friend, we don't even pick up phones when we're in mommy mode. But when I'm also with my friends, I'm that chick where your friends are out with you having lunch or whatever and you're having a good time and they're like, but for you, don't you miss your children? I'm like, what's wrong with them? They are perfectly fine where I left them. But because they expect you know how we are as mummies, you're there, but you're calling every 30 minutes. Did the child ate? Okay. How much on the plate do they eat? Did they leave anything on the plate? What about the cup of juice? Excuse me, I am out. I balanced it well. When I was mommy, I wasn't anything else but mommy. Now I am a friend. And for these 5 hours, thumbs up, let's have a good time. So the problem is that you don't set boundaries. Everything is seeping into the other. Set boundaries that when you are with friends, you are wholly with friends. When you're a mommy, you're fully a mommy or a parent. When you're working, please engage brain and work. So that in those 5 hours, 6 hours that you've given your job, nothing is left unturned. And then set that boundary that everybody knows things don't crisscross. The other tip that I would give you in work-life balance is prioritizing self-care. If this cup is not full, if it's really not well taken care of, there's no way it's going to pour into any other cup, okay? It makes me happy to not look disorganized because when I look disorganized, 100%, I feel disorganized. Okay? Like, I don't know if you've been to Brown Haven, the store where we do this. It's probably the most zen place in the world. I know it's decor pieces for your home and everything, but you come in and feel like you want to take everything because the cups are in the right place. The pillows are in the right place. Everything feels like, oh my God. So it's organized. So even you as a person, your hair's in the right place, your nails are organized. Like, you don't have to do all of it, but practice self-care. And sometimes self-care is not it's just a shower, you guys. Just enter the bathroom and shower. Because sometimes you're overwhelmed and you forget that that's a need until the evening. Yes, I am just saying things that look like they're normal, but these things happen. Practice self-care because what self-care tells me is that you care for yourself. Because you can't come and tell me you're efficient to work for me and you're excellent, but you're not excellent in taking care of yourself. So I learned the hard way because I used to say, no, I don't have time to do those small things. I'm working. And, I'm doing major things. You cannot do major things when you failed at the simple things. So when you show up to place and that person looks at you from head to toe and everything is in place, you have a gig the next day in the morning and you're up until 4 a.m. For what? Sleep. Show up looking well-rested, organized, and everybody's like, this is somebody I want to work with. That's what self-care is. Self-care is saying that I will show up as I want. The excellence I'm saying I'm putting in the world is what I'm going to do. So if you want a balance of any sort, take care of yourself. Do the fitness, work out so that you breathe better. It's the small things, it's the really tiny, tiny things. Just take care of yourself. The other thing in work-life balance is learn to say no. Now, I know this might be hard for some people, so it's a word. In fact, don't start by meaning it. Start by just saying it. No. 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 It's just an English word. Then after that, you will start to mean it. Because every time you refuse to say no where you should say no, you're going to sacrifice something that actually means something to you. And I'm not saying say no and yell at a person and leave the relationship and the bridge burned. No. Just, you're not able to. Do you know what I mean? You're just not able to. And it's the truth. Why sacrifice your time, your self-care, your time with something that's important to say yes to something that you're going to complain about? You've actually said yes to working with me, but you're complaining the whole time because you wanted to say no. Say no and save all of us the pain. So if you want to have some sort of balance, learn to say no very quickly. And if it's going to be hard, let me help you start here. Me, what I do, I have my priorities. This month of October, this is what will make sense here, here, and here. Anything outside of that, I can say no. Even if you come and it's a juicy opportunity, it's not within what I want. If I can make room for it, I can. But otherwise, it's an obvious no. And the one that I'm going to say that might sound like self-care, but it's not, is scheduled downtime. It's easy for us to keep going without knowing that it's like a battery. You need to recharge it, right? There's some batteries that are obviously rechargeable, which means it will blink. Let's say it's a camera. It will blink. And when you say, it's okay, let's keep going, it will say, hey. You'll keep going until you say, zwip. It just goes off. Scheduling downtime means that you're not burning out. Stephen Covey, who I shared about his books in the beginning of this conversation, explains it this way, that you wouldn't drive a car and it runs out of fuel. It starts giving you that yellow light because it's yellow before it's red, isn't it? Another's giving you, maybe you're going like somewhere an hour away. It gives you a yellow light and you're like, I'm so busy, I can't stop for fuel. Are you? Because it will be red, then the car will stop. So most of us will say, no, it's obvious. In fact, before I go on the journey, what will I do? I will fuel. So if you're able to schedule something as simple as that, why can't you schedule for a recharging of yourself? Now, this is not self-care. I'm not telling you to look prim and proper. I'm not telling you to sleep well. No. Downtime is for you to literally recharge, where you're not having to function at the same level you were functioning. Does that make sense? Me, sometimes I get support at home. For example, the support for my children, she goes away on Saturday and returns on Tuesday morning. So obviously from that Saturday evening until Tuesday morning, I am mommy. When she shows up on Tuesday, I am burnt out. So I've always scheduled that the first few hours on Tuesday when she comes back, guess what I do? I stop. I'm not on a laptop. I'm not with children. I'm not trying to figure out anyone's anything. I'm just in limbo. Like my brain is just off. Then after a few hours, yes, ask me what you want. Like I'm not trying to think. I'm scheduling that for these 3 hours, shut off. But when I return, I am energized. I'm excited. I'm happy. So by force, by fire, schedule downtime for your brain, for your heart, for your emotions. Just take it off. And that way the balance will kind of balance. Bye.